Hi, Malini. Thanks for the shout out.
Hi, Malini.
Hello, everyone. The webinar will start in a few minutes. I'm just allowing everyone to jump on. Hi, staff. How's it going up there in Butler?
Hi, Catherine.
Hi, Catherine.
Oh, Dave Temple, you're on. Hello.
Hello, Dave Tumpa.
You know him a little bit.
A little bit. Hi, Patty. For people just jumping on, we're waiting for everyone to log in, and then we'll get started. While we're waiting, I am going to launch a poll. Simple, 2 questions. Just answer them. It will be anonymous. We won't know who you are. Even if we did, the questions are not prying in any way. So go ahead and answer the business planning polling questions. And give us a shout out in the chat so that we know you're here, you're awake, you're energized and ready to go. Hi, Laura. No, we can't see you. Do you not have your makeup on? Hey, Liz.
Hey, I'm getting a couple questions really quick. So this is a webinar, so it's a little different from a Zoom, guys. So we wouldn't be able to hear you. How we hear you is if you comment in the chat. You can hear us, but we can't hear you.
Hello, Maria. Hello, Tammy. Thanks for the shout out in the chat. If you're just jumping on, there's 2 polling questions, very simple questions. We will not know how you answered, and they're not prying in the first place. So if you could go ahead and cast your responses.
And answer honestly, because I'm
okay.
venturing that 95% of you will, to the first one, are going to say no. That's okay.
And that's okay. Hi, Erin, Carissa, Molly, Christina, Nancy. Happy to have you with us today. Okay, people are still jumping on. Hi, Gail, you have your hand raised. Do you have a question? If you do, you can put it in the chat for now. When we get started, if there are actual questions, go ahead and put it in the Q&A. If you have comments or just want to chat, put it in the chat. Hey, Jen. Hey, Chelsea. Jen was on the rookie panel this year for Fast Start Kelly. Jen in Hampton, Jen Stout.
She's amazing, so she should be on the rookie panel.
Of course. Chelsea, how are things going in Butler? All right, we're almost there. We're gonna give it just another minute. So no, right, Patty.
Pat, you're right. Go, you're gonna answer that.
I'm sorry, Patty. Had I known better, I would have loved to have done this via meeting so that we could have used some interactive tools and I could see everyone, but because of numbers, it's just sometimes more conducive to not have the distraction of all the faces.
Yeah.
Glad things are going well, Chelsea.
Ignore my question, I just texted you in.
Okay. Got it. Participants?
Yep.
Got it. You're going to be a pro at this stuff.
Eventually.
Patty, I hope everything's going well with the plumbers. We will not be able to see them. Thank goodness. They will not be a distraction. And hopefully you're not like listening to us from the bathroom or anything, or maybe they're in the kitchen. Who knows?
Maybe.
All right, so if you just jumped on, go ahead and answer the polling questions. 80% of you have voted, so I know there's some of you who have not answered the questions. No judgment here.
None at all.
And we won't know how you answered because it doesn't break it down by person. It just gives us percentages. So it will not matter who you are. All right, we are almost to capacity for today's session. All right, last chance to answer the polling questions in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to end the polling now, everyone. Hopefully, if you answered, you had the chance, and I'm just going to share the results real quick so that you can see that you are in good company with how you answered. So 43% of you answered no. That's the majority. And 24% have a volume goal only. So really 67% of you may not have a comprehensive business plan, and that's okay. That's what we're going to try to teach you today. And then have you met with your manager? Overwhelming majority, not yet. Well, guess what? You will by the end of 2020, I hope. All right. Thanks everyone for answering.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Kelly, you can kick us off.
Okay, well, welcome everybody, and hello to everybody in the chat. I'm doing this class this year with Wendy, and those of you who don't know Wendy, which I think most of you do, she's an amazing teacher. So I'm going to let her do a lot of the talking today. She is our director of education for Pennsylvania, and she's just you've been with us how long? Since March, correct?
March 1st.
She got the job right when COVID hit, and
right.
So
that was your grandfather's birthday, I think, right?
March 1st. Yeah, it was right around there. So anyway, she's been such a good asset to our team, and so we're so happy to have her. But I'm so glad you are all on here, because I think business planning is the one thing realtors aren't necessarily great at sometimes. I mean, we fly by the seat of our pants often, and we often think, we cross our fingers and hope like, oh my gosh, I'm doing so well, and I hope that I keep doing well. And or lots of times people are newer and they go, I have no idea where to start. So our hope today is to get you all kicked off for the new year, ready to go with some more control than what maybe normally we have in our business. So I'm going to let Wendy start us off with her presentation.
All right, everyone, just a couple of housekeeping things. If you have a question, please put it in the Q&A so Ms. Kelly can actually see it amongst the chat. Otherwise, use the chat to interact with each other, to comment, and hopefully interact with us. Webinar format is challenging, and we know that lecture is not the best format for adult learners. So I'm going to be asking you to participate here and there. And before I start sharing and get into the PowerPoint, if you have something to write with and something to write on, please have that handy. You do not have to necessarily take notes, but there's going to be at least 1 or 2 activities where I'm going to want you to have a writing utensil and paper. You will not need to write notes, because I'm going to be sending out after the webinar is over some tools for you to use that are going to be very useful, and it's going to break down a lot of what we cover in a simple online form that you can simply fill in. So you won't necessarily have to take a lot of notes. You can if you want, if that's the best way that you learn. Again, questions in the Q&A, use the chat. We would love to hear from you in that format if we can. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And just a little disclaimer, yes, I am coming to you from my home in the North Hills, and I do have 2 little dogs. And from time to time, they may hear something and they may bark. So just chuckle, roll with it.
I'm also at home with my 2 large dogs, and they may sound ferocious and bark as well.
So sometimes you may hear something, and that's okay. Just know that we will not hear what's going on in your neck of the woods. All right, so building your business. Our goals today are really to help you focus on running your business, not letting your business run you, and growing your business. And we're going to kick off with our first video right here. Oh, wait, give me 1 second. I need to go backwards. I need to make sure I checked something. Sorry, everyone. Don't want to make this mistake right off the bat. Stop sharing. Share again. Yep. Computer sound. All right. Now, if you have any volume issues, please put it in the chat so that we know, but we're going to kick off with a video.
Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
Pain is temporary. It may last for a minute, or an hour, or a day, or even a year. But eventually, it will subside, and something else will take its place. If I quit, however, it will last forever.
The margin for error is so small. I mean, 1/2 a step too late or too early, and you don't quite make it. 1/2 second too slow, too fast, you don't quite catch it. The inches we need are everywhere around us. They're in every break of the game, every minute, every second.
You got a dream, you got to protect it. People can't do something themselves, they want to tell you you can't do it. You want something, go get it. Period.
Don't be afraid to fail. You can't always win, but don't be afraid of making decisions.
You have to believe that something different can happen. He who says he can and he who says he can't are both usually right. That most of you say you want to be successful, but you don't want it bad. You just kind of want it. You don't want it badder than you want to party. You don't want it as much as you want to be cool. Most of you don't want success as much as you want to sleep.
Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us.
Dig deep down, and ask yourselves, who do you want to be? Figuring out for yourselves what makes you happy, no matter how crazy it may sound to the people.
Make a choice, right? You just decide what it's going to be, who you're going to be, how you're going to do it. Just decide.
Why not? Why can't I be the MVP of the league? Why can't I be the best player in the league? I don't see why. Why can't I do that?
What is it you said to the kid? It ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. Get up. Get up. And don't ever give up.
We can stay here, get the shit kicked out of us, or we can fight our way back into the light. We can climb out of hell. 1 inch at a time. To be able at any moment to sacrifice what you are for what you will become. Most of you won't be successful because when you're studying and you get tired, you quit. I don't do well in math. You're right. You ain't never studied. I'm not good at writing because you have never written before. Talent you have naturally. Skill is only developed by hours and hours and hours of beating on your craft. If you are not making someone else's life better, then you're wasting your time. Don't cry to give up, cry to keep going. Don't cry to quit. You already in pain, you already hurt. Get a reward from it.
Now, if you know what you're worth, then go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not point the finger saying you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that.
Because every day is a new day. Every moment is a new moment. So now you got to go out and show them that I'm a different creature. Now!
I'm going to show you how great I am.
The 17th chapter of St. Luke it is written, the kingdom of God is within man, not one man nor a group of men, but in all men, in you. You, the people, have the power to create machines, the power to create happiness. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure.
Now, what are you going to do?
Because limits, like fears, are often just an illusion.
All right, everyone, I'm going to stop sharing for a moment and let's have a little chat discussion. So, we're starting off a session on business planning. Why did Kelly and I choose to show you this video? Give us some comments in the chat and also reflect upon the video for just a moment and give us 1 or 2 or 3 words about a theme or a takeaway from this particular video. Go ahead and put it in the chat. Let me know that you are here, you're paying attention, and you're with us.
Steph, thank you. It is good. It was a good video.
If you're a movie buff or you're a sports fan, it probably captured your attention pretty good. My husband and I are movie buffs, so, you know, definitely something that we love. Dream big. I like it, Malini. Try your very best to get it. Inspiration. Nice, Patty. Nice, Mary. Consistent, resilient. Go ahead, Kel, read some out.
Yeah, we need to push ourselves, Maria. You're right. I think it's you're all right. Believe in yourself, never give up. Yeah, and I think it's very motivation. I think it's very important because we don't tend to, I don't think we have to remember that we're all in the same boat, that same way. And it's very easy to just, like it said, I'm not good at math because you don't try math. I'm not good at FSBOs because you're not trying FSBOs. You know, it's sort of all the same thing. Helping others to be our main focus. Yes, Diane.
Life is hard enough. And in this past year, we've all experienced that it's a little more difficult or challenging this year. And in human nature, it's very easy for us to give up, or it's very easy for us to point a finger and blame other things or other people for our lack of success or for our shortcomings. It's easy. It's human nature. So in order for us to pick ourselves up, we need to focus on ourselves and also making the world better for other people. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you got something out of it, but it was meant to necessarily inspire and motivate. So hopefully you enjoyed that little segment. Kelly, anything in the chat?
No, all the chats are great. Perseverance, keep moving forward. They're all, great. Who do you want to be, Michelle? You're right. What and how is the key. We need a plan to get there. That's right.
So life is hard, and the career that you've all chosen, or lifestyle, if you will, because it really is a lifestyle, is challenging. So we have to try harder than most people to be successful and to stay positive and to stay focused. So here is just an example of some well-known individuals, some no longer with us, but some that still are, that have experienced failure at some point. We all will experience failure at some point, but if we have a plan, if we're motivated, if we have a support system to help us strive to be successful, the sky is really the limit. Look at Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, one of the best, if not the best, basketball players of all time. He got cut from his high school basketball team. Hopefully that, drove him to do even more and practice even more and be better. Most people who are successful, that does drive them. It challenges them to want to be better and to practice their skill even more. And we have to strive to do the same thing. Hopefully you will not experience as many failures, but always remember that we have to strive to be better, to do better, to set ourselves apart, to be that green penguin, if you will, to be different than the 8,000 real estate agents in the West Penn multi-list, so that we can make a difference for ourselves, make a difference for our families. So what is the purpose of this class? What are we going to focus on? Well, our goal at Howard Hanna, of course, is for you to be successful. And successful can mean lots of different things, whether that's successful in your business, your happiness, your spiritual well-being, whatever it might be. You define your success, but our entire goal is to help you get there. So our goals are today in this class, help you have the right mindset so that you can be successful, so that you can persevere. Secondly, have a goal and actually have a plan that you're working to help you achieve success. And lastly, having prospecting in your DNA. I know some people don't like the word prospecting. I think of it in terms of searching for the gold. The prospectors who went out west way back when, they were in search of gold. So if you just change your thinking a little bit about the word prospecting, it will be a positive word and not necessarily a negative. So those are our 3 goals for today, and hopefully we will accomplish them all. So if you have that writing utensil, that piece of paper right next to you, I want you to go ahead and draw 9 circles or 9 smiley faces. And we're going to start with this puzzle. So go ahead and draw 9 circles or 9 dots or 9 smiley faces, 9 stars, whatever you want on your paper. And follow these directions. Use 4 lines and 4 lines only. Don't take your writing utensil or your pen, your pencil off the paper and try to connect all of the dots. All right, so take a second to do this. Kelly, are you doing it too?
No, I'll do it. Where's the I'm gonna.
And if you think you've got it, put it in the chat that you were successful, and then we will solve the puzzle. So 4 lines. Don't take your writing utensil off the paper and try to connect all of the dots. Now this is only going to be fun if you're actually doing it, and I can't see you all, so I don't know if you're writing out there.
Laura, you did it. Good job. I'm doing it right now.
Laura did it?
Yep.
Great job, Laura. Have you seen this before? You probably have. That's okay. Anyone else? Anyone else meet with success?
Karen did it. Ken
Nice.
did it. Good.
All right, everyone. So do you need more time? Or are you good? You ready to see the answer?
I'm ready to see the answer.
All right, here's the answer, everyone. 1 line, 2 lines, 3, and 4, and we've connected all the dots.
It didn't come up on the screen. But
It didn't?
no.
Oh, I wonder why.
Well, or not on my screen. Did it come up on yours, guys?
Does everyone see the answer?
No.
That's unfortunate. I haven't had that happen yet. You don't see, oh wait, hold on. I don't think you're seeing the presentation. Wait a minute. I think my share wasn't working. Hold on. And I'm not coming up. Sorry for the delay, everyone. Technical difficulties.
You're fine.
This happens from time to time.
This is 2020.
All bets are off. All bets are off in 2020, right?
They are. They're all off.
All right, I gotta get out of this and go back. So were they all seeing us during all that?
Could you guys see us? I'm sure that's what they were seeing. That's what I'm guessing.
That's great. They were seeing us. All right, let's go back.
Thanks, Steph.
Thanks, Stephanie, for that compliment. I appreciate that. Beautiful faces. Nope, isn't that what I want?
Oh, there you go. Ah.
Never had that happen before. So well. All right, so you had your 9 figures, if you will, dots, circles, what have you. It would have been more helpful if you could actually see this screen so you knew what I was asking you to do. And you attempted to solve the puzzle, and here finally is your answer. All right, those of you who solved it, was this your answer? Give us a yes or no in the chat. There's 1 in the chat.
Dave Tumpet solved it right. Laura Donaldson, no. Ken Zerdick, no. I admit no, and I saw this already, so I did it wrong too.
Dave Tumpet, you don't count. You already knew the puzzle, so that doesn't matter. But sorry, you do count, but it doesn't count in this puzzle. That's it. So the whole point of the puzzle is, in order for us to be set apart from the ordinary, in order for us to be that green penguin or be different than those other 8,000 real estate agents in the West Penn multi-list, we have to sometimes think outside the box, okay? We have to go above and beyond and strive to do that. To help you do that, business planning will help you in your business to be successful, go above and beyond. Any comments, questions about that? Probably not. All right, so moving on. So we're gonna start first. Our first goal of today was really to have the right mindset. So a cognitive behavioral approach to any change is starting with our thoughts. Okay, so you can read this for yourself down the left-hand side. This is from Gandhi, but this is true. It's a cognitive behavioral approach. So if we want to be better than we were or do better than we currently are, we have to have the right mindset. We have to have the right mindset when it comes to prospecting. We have to have the right mindset when it comes to business planning and running our business. So we need to start with our thoughts. Keeping our thoughts positive are going to result in our positive words. Our positive words are going to result in positive behaviors. Those positive behaviors are going to turn into habits. And those habits will become our values, and our values our destiny. You are in control of your own destiny. You are actually in control of your business should you choose to treat it and run it like a business, okay? Yes, the majority of agents out there can be successful without a business plan, but they're often flying by the seat of their pants and they're relying upon their charm and charisma and potentially who they know. But for the majority of agents to be successful, they have to have a plan. So we start with the right mindset. So these are just some inspirational ways, cognitive behavioral ways, if we want to change or we want to do better. Any comments, questions about this, Kelly?
Nothing here. Nothing in our chat right now, our questions. So you're doing great.
So what we're going to take a look at now is something called the fish philosophy, okay? This is a way of being different. This is a way of making the best of what you have. This is a way of being successful in perhaps ordinary circumstances. So we're going to look at this as an example as you start to formulate your mindset for your business.
a macro.
We noticed that we could make a difference for people. Like when they come by, they leave in a better mood. And a lot of people have told us that we made their day.
Nice.
A customer came up to me and said it was the best fish they'd ever had. Something happened to me and I realized I was making people happy. Give me a big hug. This gave me a plus in my life and I love serving the people now. Cheers, I tight. Thank me, Philip.
The fish philosophy is about engaging people and creating positive change in their workplaces and home lives.
Too much coffee. Too much coffee.
You know, are you being, this is a lousy stinking job, or are we being, well, we're just selling fish, or are you being, you know, world famous? You know, you're going to do something differently when you're being world famous than you are if you're being impatient.
The fish philosophy embodies an entire way of life. It's been translated into 14 languages, and it's created positive change in thousands of small businesses, classrooms, Fortune 500 companies, and homes around the world.
You don't have to throw fish. You just have to have the energy. You have to have the commitment. You have to have fun. You have to have fun at work.
Like most people who visit the Pike Place Fish Market for the first time, I was drawn in by the excitement, the fun, the creativity, the playfulness of the fishmongers. But the longer I spent at the market, the more I saw the playfulness didn't just come from their actions, say like throwing the fish, it came from the spirit of the people working there.
That teacher knows that this is the place to come to where they can turn that feeling around.
Sure, I could stay home and eat bonbons, but I'd be by myself. And I'm going to go to work and be with people who I like being.
It's about communication. It's about being there.
Conversation is essential. I think that's how we make sense of our world.
All right, everyone. So we're showing you the fish philosophy because we are in a relationship business. You know that is our primary goal, is to develop, leverage relationships. So in terms of thinking about our business, the fish philosophy is a great way to think about your business and how you interact on a day-to-day basis with your family, your friends, potential clients, customers, strangers. So the first tenet of the fish philosophy is play. If we're having fun at work, and I know there's some agents out there, particularly my husband, that you have to have fun in your workday, okay? In order to want to do it well, to be a shining example for others, and to actually have people drawn to you, there has to be an element of fun. Fun creates an opportunity for you to be creative. And we know that in our work, we often have to be creative as we overcome challenges and obstacles and problem solve. So the play will allow you to be energetic in your work. And if you're energetic, people will be drawn to that. So being a fishmonger on the docks or in Pike Place, you know, that may not be so rewarding to some people if that's their mindset. But if they're there having fun, then their mindset will be completely different. The second tenet is make their day. In our business, we want to strive to make a difference in all of the people whom we come into contact with whom we touch. So making their day gives you motivation to actually be positive and energetic and smile and go out of the way to make people feel good. Okay, your smile in your business will go a long way. So just remember to wear it. We want to have experiences that are enjoyable and pleasant so that people remember us, that they will want to talk with us, they'll want to work with us. So remember that in your day-to-day business activities to try to make the other person's day. The third tenet is be there. Now, in this technological world, this is something we all really need to work on. I watched that documentary the other day about the social dilemma and how we're all addicted to our technology, okay? We have to consciously be there for our family members, our friends. Be in the moment and actually listen and not allow distractions to take us away, okay? So when was the last time you actually focused on being in the moment, listening, empathizing, summarizing for someone something they just said or how they're feeling? It will make a huge difference in your business if you focus on being there in each and every conversation, interaction, even in your emails. If you think about your emails when you respond to people or you're initiating an email, do you actually greet them and say, hey, how are you today? I hope you're doing well. Okay, in every response that you make, remember, be there in the moment, and remember, how you will make people feel is what they will remember most about you, okay? And then the last tenet of the fish philosophy is choosing your attitude, okay? We can wake up every morning, and I have to remind myself of this very often, I admit it, you get to choose whether you're in a good mood or not, okay? Yeah, we all have circumstances where it's gonna impact our mood, but our attitude is something we can put on every single day. Your attitude is something that you're going to put on before you meet with a client, before you hold that open house. And are you choosing to make that a positive, strength-based attitude? Okay. People will be drawn to you if you are energetic and outgoing and have a positive outlook on life, and your business will grow if you have a positive attitude that brings people to you, okay? Anyone have any comments or questions about the fish philosophy? Does it make sense? Something that we need to consciously focus on? I know I do.
I know I do for sure. And I think that's, yeah, I think we're hearing that in the little chat. Yes, everybody needs to focus on that, especially in these times right now. So it's very.
And it's hard. We have lots of different challenges. So at the very core of your business planning, of how you run your business, should be your why, okay? And this gentleman right here on the screen is Mr. Simon Sinek. And Mr. Simon Sinek is famous for what's called the Golden Circle, or his book, Start With Why. He probably has 30 books out there, and I haven't read them all. But his premise is, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it, okay? You all are not selling a product, okay? You're selling yourself. So establishing why you do it and getting that message across in your profile, across on your website, across in your listing or buyer's consultation, across in your attitude or how you conduct yourself. Why is what people are going to buy into more than actually what you do, okay? What do you do? Some people think you open doors. Some people think that you write contracts, okay? But the why of what you do is really what's going to tie people to you. So I would encourage you, if you do have that paper and pencil or take a mental note, check out Simon Sinek on YouTube. TED Talks is the most common one, and watch his videos on the Golden Circle. I had an opportunity to hear him live in New York City at a symposium, and he truly is amazing, and he will really make you think, okay? So check him out. I guarantee you will love him, okay? Kelly, did you watch the video? Did you get on and go to?
I loved it. I loved it. I became obsessed with him. I just started Googling him and finding lots about him. So yeah,
and it keeps going and going and going because he has so many good things. Yeah, he's a world-renowned speaker, everyone. So if you haven't been introduced to him yet, here's your introduction. Go check him out. It will change the way you think. And in terms of a why, here's a great one.
This is it. This is what matters. The experience of a product. How will it make someone feel? Will it make life better? Does it deserve to exist? We spend a lot of time on a few great things until every idea we touch enhances each life it touches. You may rarely look at it, but you'll always feel it. This is our signature, and it means everything.
Okay, I'm going to stop sharing for just a moment. You may need to remind me to share again before we go back. But Simon Sinek will actually talk about Apple and Apple's why and how they present themselves with marketing, okay? There's a reason why Apple has flown to the top of the technological list compared to companies that have gone to the wayside, okay, like Dell or IBM or all of them. And a lot of that has to do with their marketing. Their marketing is about their why. So when you watch that, what was your takeaway? How did it make you feel?
Warm and fuzzy. Definitely gets you, and you really don't know what it's advertising until the very end.
Absolutely. Anyone else? I don't see anything in the chat. Are you guys with us?
Grabs you emotionally, Christina. Yep, it does.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's what people will buy into. Okay. So that entire commercial, you had no idea it was an Apple commercial, not until the very end. Okay. So the product was secondary, but what was first was the why. If they had started out that commercial talking about the product, they probably would have lost you as the consumer, okay? You would have stopped paying attention to the commercial. But because they talked about making your life better, drawing people and connecting people, okay? It sent an emotional ripple through that resonated, okay? People identified with it, okay? And so when people identified with it, they will buy into it, okay? So when you are formulating your why, remember that people will buy into your why as opposed to your product, if you will, okay? So even though you're a salesperson, they need to buy into you. Howard Hanna, okay? Howard Hanna's why, okay? Our value statement, our mission, is out there. Use it because people will buy into it, okay? So if you don't yet have your why, remember, you're part of Howard Hanna and Howard Hanna has their why, okay? Any last comments, questions about that particular portion? I'm gonna go back to sharing and move on to the next slide, as long as I can see it. There we go. All right. So again, this is just reiterating on this slide that we want you to be better than the rest, okay? Our goal is your success. So we do not want you to be average, okay? Howard Hanna's goal is for you to set yourself apart, to be the best that you can be, and allow us to help you in that process. So when it comes to business planning, I want to give you a little bit of research here. So Harvard Business School did a longitudinal study of 1,600 businesses over 25 years. You can see the stats right there. 84% had no written or verbal plan. 13% only had plans that they could speak to, which anyone could really speak to what their goal is or what their plan is. And only 3% of those 1,600 businesses actually had a written plan to follow, to live up to strive towards. In the chat, tell me what you think the results of this study showed. Kelly, you let us know what everyone's thinking.
I will do that.
As a result of this study, now this is over 25 years. That's a longitudinal study. It usually has more bearing on a particular topic area than a short-term study. What do you guys think the results were.
Kathy Barr just suggesting the 3% were the most successful. I'm going to venture with you on that. Maria says the most successful business had the plan written down. Tammy said those with a written plan are more successful. I mean, if you think about your own selves, I'll just share a little anecdote. When I took the regional job, I spent a lot of time just kind of like dealing with problems that would come up, right? So when you have a problem with a client somewhere else, and I'd go and like, just whack-a-mole, sort of how my job felt. And Hobie said to me, are you writing down, you're like you used to when you were a manager and an agent, every Sunday night, your plan for the week? And I was saying, no, I kind of got off that. So now every Sunday, what I do is I sit down, I write my plan for the week, everything that needs to get accomplished in the 5 days ahead of me. On Monday, these 2 things need to get on Tuesday. And I think that I've become so much stronger in my job because of it. So it's hard for us to do when we're not necessarily, when we're busy dealing with problems and issues and good stuff and bad stuff, but it's very important.
So here's the result. Anything else in the chat before I show the answer?
Linda also suggesting the 3% worked. They were the ones that survived.
Okay, good. You guys are all very smart. So here is the result. 98% of the wealth was from only that 3%. Okay, so 2% got lucky. Okay, they got lucky. Maybe it was a great product. Maybe they had a great marketing plan or charisma. But that 3% of those 1,600 businesses were the ones who did the best as far as financial wealth. Okay, and at the end of the day, no matter what our why is, of course, we are here to make money. Okay, that is our goal. And if we don't run it as a business, a true business, if we don't have an actual written plan and we don't keep track of our expenses versus what we're actually making, how do we know that we're actually bringing money in? Okay.
I'll add one thing too. I would say the term I hear most from you agents, not you particularly on this thing, but from agents in general. I was with somebody 2 days ago for lunch, and she said to me, I don't understand. Why is so-and-so, she named an agent, so she's so lucky. And then over and over again, she said, she's so lucky too. Like, I wish I was that lucky. They're so lucky. And she's talking about the top agents in the company, some of whom you are on this call. And I said, no. I stopped right there and said, I mean, they might be blessed in life for lots of reasons, but they are not lucky when it comes to business. They're not that 2%. There couldn't be that many lucky people. They have a business plan and they stick to their business plan. And so when you're looking at the successful people around you in this business, if you're wanting to be one of them or more so one of them, remind yourself that they have a plan. This isn't luck.
It's not their genetics. It's not their neighborhood. It's not their friends and family. It's because they actually have a plan and run their business like a business. You're absolutely right.
You got it.
All right. So next. All right. So let's go back to the beginning. Starting our business planning. We want to define your mission and vision. If you look at any actual company out there, any public company, you will see they have a mission and vision. Okay. So do you have one? Howard Hanwell has one for you, but do you have one for yourself? Do you know what your why is? Do you know what drives you? Do you know what sets you apart? Okay. Some people will create vision boards. Okay. I know Jen Stout has on her sticky note right above her computer what her why is, right, Jen? And it's her family. It's her family that drives her. Okay. So whatever yours might be, let's define that as your starting point. If you really want a comprehensive business plan, start there. Secondly, you want to do a SWOT analysis. And I will say that in my opinion, I think that most agents skip over this portion of business planning. SWOT standing for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And when you go ahead and do this, I want you to think of it in terms of internal SWOT analysis and external SWOT analysis, okay? So internally, what are my strengths and weaknesses? Am I outgoing or am I reserved? Do I have a strong business sphere of influence, or do I really need to develop that, okay? So think about it from an intrinsic and external viewpoint as you examine them. And right now, what are our threats? Okay. All of you right now are experiencing similar threats that are external. What are those threats? Go ahead and put it in the chat.
And just to add too, I do a SWOT analysis. I have to for my Aunt Helen. I do a SWOT analysis every single month. She would like us to do it every week, but every single month, and I learn something every month about myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Patty, the coronavirus is a threat.
It is a threat, but
so yeah.
Is there more?
I was going to say it's also an opportunity, though.
It is also an opportunity. Okay, and so how is it an opportunity? Well, let's say one of your strengths is you're very, very good at technology. Okay, you're very good at technology. Well, even though the coronavirus is a threat, it gives you an opportunity to use your technology in your appointments. If all of your appointments are going to be virtual, that is your strength as opposed to couch talk and sitting in a home. They can offset each other. But if you don't actually pinpoint and look at what your strengths, your weaknesses, opportunities, and threats are, you can't plan for them, okay? You can't plan to overcome what your weaknesses or your threats are if you don't actually examine them, okay? So opportunities, are there any opportunities right now out there, let's talk externally, for you? What opportunities may exist? Perhaps it's a new construction plan going up not too far from where you live. Maybe you know a lot about oil, gas, and mineral, or maybe you know someone in that industry who can, connect you with, the cracker plant in Monaca. Whatever it might be, look for those opportunities and formulate a plan to maximize your success based upon that opportunity. Formulate action items to either counteract or to enhance what you have. Okay.
One person wrote in the chat, Wendy, one of the agents wrote that, and this is very common for a lot of people this year, the pandemic has been her best year ever, because she kept working completely safely and found new ways to reach people. Well, others didn't, and that's true. A lot of people, and I know this agent, wishes to remain anonymous, but I would say that she very much worked very safely and did not go anywhere where she shouldn't have been, or with her health, but she definitely had an incredible year because she kept reaching out in new ways, probably pushed herself in different ways than what she was used to.
And so a lot of agents had their best year ever. A lot of companies, not all, but some real estate companies had their best years ever. Okay. So it's something to examine, to analyze moving forward. What did you gain from that? Okay, so that you can do more of it. All right, any questions about that? There's just some questions down at the bottom to help you start to analyze and do your SWOT analysis. I just wanted to spend a little more time here because I know the majority of people do skip over this portion of business planning. Good, Kel?
Yep, I'm just.
All right, so the next step after your why, after your SWOT analysis, is we need to create a budget, okay? And this is the portion that most people don't like to do, don't like numbers, but some people absolutely love this portion of it. In creating that budget, you have to know some things about your personal expenses. You have to actually have tracked what your business expenses are from year to year, okay? You want to know, all right, I don't want to just live paycheck to paycheck or get by to pay my bills. I want to be able to, spend money on vacations or gifts for my loved ones or what have you. That's your discretionary income, okay? Maybe, when the movie theaters were open, you love to go to the movies all of the time. And so, that was discretionary income. Well, you got to have money for that kind of stuff. And then, of course, there's investment and retirement that we are very, very lax on. Are we putting money away for retirement? Okay. Have we even thought to start planning for that? As a new agent, if you are on this call today, please start doing it now. But what are going to be your expenses break it down, and then break it down monthly and then yearly, okay? And we're gonna actually give you a web-based document at the end of today's session that you can actually calculate all of this, okay? All you have to do is type it in. You might have to do a little research to know your numbers, but let's go as an example and let's pretend that you want as your yearly income $200,000, and now let's go through the steps of what you have to do to ensure that you're going to be successful and make that $200,000, okay? So you're ready? First things first, how many transactions are you going to actually need to reach $200,000? It's not as easy as figuring out, you know, your average commission. It's not that easy. So we have to try to get in front of as many buyers and sellers every single day in order to achieve our goal. So how many transactions? This is how you're going to approach it. First, you're going to take your annual income goal. We're going to do 200,000. Then you want to take what is your average commission. If you have just finished a full, 11, 12 months of real estate, you can actually figure that out, your average commission transaction. If you need help, your manager, of course, can help you with any of these numbers because they can help you pull it if you have not been keeping track. So if my goal is to make that $200,000 a year and my average commission is $4,500, I need 45 transactions in the coming year to make that $200,000, okay? So this is gonna vary based upon your number. Now, if you are a new agent, you are gonna need to rely on your manager to help you figure out what an average commission may be perhaps for the office or your marketplace to help you do this, okay? That's not a big deal. So if you don't have 12 months of experience to draw upon, that's okay, okay? So 45 transactions. All right, of those 45 transactions, we need to determine how many are gonna be buyers, how many are going to be listings that close. So how many buyers? Let's take a look at what your last year was, okay? How many sales did you have that were buy-side transactions? You can take a look at that number, increase it, decrease it, or use the same. So let's say that a quarter of our transactions are buyers. So that is 11. So if we know we need 11 sales closed representing buyers, then we need 34 listings that close, okay? Simple math, right? 11 buyers, 34 listings, all that close, okay? Simple math. So are we done? No, there's more. All right. So do you get every single listing when you go on a listing appointment? If you do, God bless, you're very fortunate. But take a look at how many listing appointments did you go on in the past year and what was your close ratio, meaning how many of them did actually list with you. So just for example's sake, we are going to say that of those 34 listings you need to close, that 75% of them actually close, okay? Maybe some expire, maybe some sellers withdraw, maybe some houses, through discovery are not saleable, okay? Too many clouds on the title, whatever it might be. So what is your close ratio when you go on that listing appointment? Maybe it's higher. Maybe you get 9 out of 10. So your percentage is going to be 90%, okay? So think about that. As a new agent, maybe you want to aim for a 75%. We would love 100, but you want to be realistic. Your past behavior may predict your future behavior. So look at your past. If you don't have past listings, then you can use a number like 75%. So what this is telling me, if I get 3 out of 4 listings when I go on a listing appointment, I actually need, or actually close ratio, if 3 out of 4 listings actually close, I need 45 listings in the given year in order to achieve 34 closed listings. Does that make sense, everyone? Am I going slow enough? Because it could get complicated and I just complicated it by changing up what I was talking about.
Ask questions if you want to. But I would say you can go online and see this again and go over it slowly on your own at any point, because we're gonna post this or send it out.
And the web-based program we're going to give you as well will outline it for you. It'll script it right out. It's going to give you an example, but in case you don't use
it. Program too. It's such a good program that you're going to get. So it's going to be super helpful.
All right. So that was supposed to be closed listings, meaning do they make it to the closing table? Now we need to look at, all right, my capture ratio. When I go on an appointment, so I confused you, I apologize. The first section was about how many listings actually get to the closing table. The second section is about my capture ratio. If I go on so many appointments, how many of those listings I actually get. So if I have 45 listings, 75% I capture in our mind, I actually need to go on 60 appointments. Okay, now do the quick math, everyone. 60 appointments in a 12-month period. How many appointments per month do I need to go on? Kelly, tell us who the winner is.
I'm waiting for some answers.
Yeah.
Someone Patty says 5.
So about
5. Tammy says 5. Laura says 5. I think we
Good math, everyone. So I need to have 5 listing appointments a month in order to get that number of listings, right? Okay, so you can see how this will help guide you in what you need to do to achieve your goal. It'll guide you in your annual, your monthly, and we're going to even break it down to weekly and daily. All right, so on the flip side of that, how many seller contacts do I actually need? Okay, not every single person is going to agree to actually meet with you. Okay, so think about that.
Shocking, we know.
Say again?
I said that's shocking, we know, but when we really think, why wouldn't you want to meet with us? And then they don't.
So I need 60 appointments in the given year, and you all figured out that's 5 listing appointments a month. Okay, well, maybe only 10% actually agree to meet or keep the appointments or what have you. So to be successful, I actually need to have 600 seller contacts in a given year to get my 60 appointments, okay? So 600 seller contacts, okay? Divided by 250 work days. That is, if you're only working 5 days a week and you take 2 weeks of vacation. Now we all know we work more than that, but this is giving you a little leeway. So 250 work days, I need to be in contact with 2.44 sellers every single day. Okay, so you can see how this breaks it down for you to guide your activities. Okay, so if I really want to achieve my listing goal of 45 listings that close, I need to be in touch with 2.4 sellers, 2.5, 3, round however you would like, every single day to achieve my goal. Okay, this will help drive your actual activities. So on the flip side, real quick, buyer consultations. Hopefully you're all doing buyer consultations. If you're not, you and I need to talk about what that is and why it will benefit your business. But buyers consultations, buyer conversations, buyer interviews, whatever you want to call it, where you are face-to-face, via Zoom, whatever, talking about your value proposition, talking about the buying process, securing them and getting their loyalty to working with you. So buyers consultations, we figured out early on, we want 11 buyer sales that actually close, okay? But we know that not all buyers actually end up closing, okay? Some buyers may lose their job and no longer are qualified to purchase. Some, get frustrated, or some are just downright picky and we don't find a house that they actually want to purchase. So a close ratio of 90%. If you want, you can put 100%, but you should plan for the unknown. So 90% of my buyers normally close, get to the closing table, okay? So how many buyers do I actually need? I need 13 buyers to actively be working with in a given year in order to have 11 buyer closed transactions. Does that make sense? Okay, so then how many appointments am I going to need in order to get 13 active buyers this year? Okay, well, let's say that I do my buyers consultations, but only 75% of them actually are ready, willing, and able to go right now, or maybe 25% of them I don't want to work with. Okay, maybe they're going to be too difficult, or what they're looking for, their expectations are, on the moon. So at a 75% capture ratio of my appointments, I need to have 18 buyer consultations to get 13 active buyers. Okay, hopefully that makes sense for you. Not everyone you want to work with, and not everyone's going to want to work with you, unfortunately. So to get my closed buyer transactions, I need those 18 appointments. Okay, but what if not everyone actually keeps their appointment? Okay, maybe they fall off the face of the earth, whatever. 18 appointments, 10% ratio, meaning 10% agreed to actually meet with you. I need to make 180 buyer contacts in my given calendar year, divided by my 250, which is 5 days of work a week, 2 weeks of vacation. I need to come in contact with one ready, willing, and able buyer almost every single day. And so how am I going to do that? Okay, so I really need 3 sellers. I need to get in front of 3 sellers every day. I need to get in front of 1 buyer every single day to actually achieve my goals. Okay, so your business plan, boil it down, is that you need to get in front of as many as possible every single day. Okay, that is the only secret that's not really a secret, because you all know that. Kelly, anything you want to add to that?
Well, I was just going to say, I would love to hear how some of you do get in front of all of these people, because obviously many of you are doing this and much more, and could learn, the people that aren't necessarily there yet, how they could learn from you. So if anybody who has some experience in getting in front of people wants to share, and Deb Donahue said open houses every weekend. It's a great way. You come across many. Jen Stout, social media is huge right now. We're very, very lucky that we all are in the age we are, and not, it would have been much harder to do all that 20 years ago. Anybody else? Social media, guys, is so easy, but also open houses. I'm going to add this. I'm just going to interject here and excuse the COVID time. I don't know what that will do to us again here, but I will say open houses, I tell everyone, if you really want to make money and you want to be making money, you should be doing 3 to 4 open houses a month. It's just 3 hours on a Sunday. It's 3-hour workday, maybe like an hour before, hour after, following up. But it's just a great. I was at an on Sunday. There were like 40 people at an open house. I mean, socially distant outside, and it's just they're packed right now. So I'm just doing a little plug for that.
Absolutely. If you didn't hold an open house this year, if you didn't hold one this year, they're better than they ever have been, really, because you are going to get flooded with people.
Yes. Malini wrote social media, quantum postcards. Yes. Farming letters to neighborhood. Huge. Letters are very important right now. Need to reach people we don't know. That's right, Malini. Get people to call you. Beth said, our best success is to talk to people and let them know what I do. Talk about the housing economy. Yep. Wear your pin, guys. If you have a car, drive your car. Picked up most of my buyers and sellers through open houses. Nancy, that's great. Yes, people are doing virtual, Christina, open houses. Talk to your manager and we will get you set up.
Absolutely. Okay, so for our example, we need 3 to 4 people. We need to get in front of 3 to 4 people. And these are substantial conversations, folks. So yeah, you're using social media, but you need to take it one step further and actually engage them.
Yes.
Okay. Whether that's, directly calling, whether that's directly sending them a message or asking them to call you, whatever it is, remember, we want to directly engage them. These actually have to be conversations, okay? All right, so there's more. This is the essential piece of your business planning is your plan of action. And a lot of the times agents will fall short here. Okay, you have an idea of what you're going to do, but you're kind of throwing spaghetti against the wall and seeing what sticks. Okay, a lot of agents will take that approach. So take a look at where you are investing your time, your money, your energy. What worked this past year? If some of you had your greatest year ever, what did you actually do? Okay, where was the return on your investment? Okay, was it only 2 of these particular areas? Was it 3 of these areas? So right now, if you had a great year, put in the chat, where did that business come from? If it's on this page, if it's not on this page, tell us. Where did it come from?
Sherry said her sphere. Kathy Bard said she's worked very hard, and Kathy's an excellent agent, working harder on her presentation, which was already good, but work on it even more so that when you're in front of people, you're giving your best. Stephanie Butler said a lot of her, and she's had an incredible first year, social media, learning as much as I could while I was in shutdown. That was very smart, taking advantage of all the tools we have.
Absolutely. Okay, everyone. So great. Those are great responses, and I'm glad. So in your business plan, in order to grow your business, you need to take what's working and you need to increase it. Otherwise, you need to add something new to your business every year in order to grow your business. So let's say farming. Maybe farming was a great source of your business this year. Well, if you want it to grow next year, then you're going to have to increase your farm area or increase your frequency of your contacts with your farm or the quality of your contacts. So take a look, what is working, what has worked, and increase it and try to quantify it. If you want to grow your business, you need to add something new if you're not increasing. So what are you going to add to your business plan? Where is that return on the investment going to come from? Okay, so we want to create this plan of action. So let's take just one category, okay? Sphere of influence, okay? That should be where your greatest source of business is probably coming from. So let's take that sphere of influence, okay, as part of your business plan, and let's break that down, okay? Every single month, what are you doing to reach your sphere and reach your sphere in a meaningful way? So this is an example of how you can break it down. Phone calls, personal notes, coffee, lunches, dinners, whatever else you all can think of. So break it down into actual activities, break it down into measurable, quantifiable activity, and then what does it cost you, if anything? So phone calls, how many phone calls, how many hours, to whom and why? Break it down so that you actually have a plan of action, steps to follow, so you know if you are actually meeting your goals, being successful. So do it for each category that you're going to include in your plan. You don't have to do them all. You don't have to do a lot of them. Do what's working for you and do what's going to enhance your strengths, okay? So if you are an incredibly outgoing people and you know a lot of people, you're energetic, you're outgoing, and it's non-COVID times, you might be hosting a lot of parties, going to a lot of parties, doing networking events. So remember, going back to our SWOT analysis, that should relate to your actual activities, okay? So take each activity, break it down into monthly budgets so that you actually have a plan of action. Do it for each category. And only then, when you have actually figured out what it's actually going to cost you monetarily, can you go back to your original goal of your budget to know whether your number is accurate, right? Okay, this is what actual businesses do, okay? Any questions about that? Good, but wait, there's more. All right, so our last goal of today is to talk about having prospecting in your DNA. And I don't mean the DNA that composes your body. I mean your daily needs and activities. I had mentioned early on that this is a lifestyle, okay? Not a job, not necessarily a career. So you need to focus and spend the majority of your time, 80% at minimum, prospecting for that goal. So know the difference between marketing versus prospecting, and how much time, money, and energy are you spending in each of these categories, okay? It's very easy to do the marketing, okay, because it's passive, or you've got the money to actually spend. It's human nature to take the easy route, right? But marketing has to be part of your plan. But 80 to 90% of your time should really be in the prospecting category. Make sure that you are aware of the difference. And when you go ahead and put what's giving you a return on your investment, know whether it is marketing versus prospecting. Okay. Sometimes they blur and cross the lines. Okay. But if you're clear about it, then you will be able to achieve your goals. The power of referrals, okay? I had mentioned earlier that we would hope for you in your business that the majority of your business is coming from referrals. Yes, your sphere of influence may do business with you one time in their lifetime or one time in the course of your relationship with them, but the power is actually in all the people that they know. So we want to make sure that we're focusing on our sphere so that we can get those referrals, right? Okay. If you're not having referrals as the largest source of your business, then you're working harder. You're doing all those difficult and challenging things like holding those open houses and going after the expireds and FSBOs, and that's okay. You need at least 20% of that to round out your business once you're beyond like year 3 or 4. Kelly, anything you want to add to that?
No, I would agree totally. And I think sometimes people fall into the trap of saying, I don't have, in fairness to them, they just moved to Pittsburgh or they don't have a lot of sphere here, but you always have a sphere, even if it's tiny. And those are the people that are going to be, those are the people you'll hook yourself to, and they will be your greatest source of referrals. That is so true. Your sphere is it's the best part of the business. It's the most important thing to pay attention to.
And what I often hear from a lot of new agents is, well, I don't want to pester them, or I don't want to bother them, or I don't want to ask them for something. Guess what? You're not. You're just building upon your relationships, leveraging your relationships, being a better friend, relative, neighbor, or what have you. Remember your why, at least for me, making a difference in other people's lives. That's my goal. My goal isn't to sell them. Okay, so keep that in mind. Remember, we talked about Ford. Those of you who have been with me before, we're focusing on people's families, their work, their recreation, their dreams in the referral business. So,
and also as a reminder, and I say this all the time, every person on average knows 12 real estate agents. The person who gets the listing or the purchase is the agent who had the last point of contact with that client. So I could know, 12 doctors, but if there's one doctor who constantly will check in on me, guess who I'm going to go with? The one who's going to check in on me, because I feel like he or she cares. And it's all about care and connectivity, like you said.
Right. So for those of you who are not harnessing the power of referrals, this is where you start. Okay. That business base, that database. You've heard of Engage CRM. If you don't have a CRM that you're using, if you don't have a database with all of your sphere of influence in it, that's where you should probably start. So number 1 is creating that list of everyone you know. Number 2, once you have that list, okay, and you can do this right in your CRM, Engage CRM, you want to categorize them or group them, okay? You're going to have A's, B's, and C's, and this tells you who they are. Your A's are your raving fans. Hopefully that's your spouse or significant other if you have one, your parents, your children. These should be your raving fans. Well, these are the people that love you so much that you can easily train them to refer you business and how they should do that. The warm handoff where they introduce you to someone else, or when they hear of someone wanting to get into selling or buying, that they offer up your name and offer to connect you. Okay, so your A's, it may not be a large list, your A's, but it is a crucial list. Okay, so your A's are your ambassadors, if you will. You want to actually physically see these people at least once a month. Okay, that's the level of relationship you have with them. They're going to bring you business, hopefully hand over fist. Okay, so you need to prioritize them in your life. Okay, your B's are your buddies. These are people who are going to give you business, but really only if it falls in their lap or slaps them in the face. Okay, they may not be, your bestie, but they know that you're good and they like you and that you're in the business. Well, you want to foster that relationship. Okay, and how often? You want to make them an A if possible. And then your C's are going to be everyone else that are on your actual list that you know in passing, or are acquaintances, or you're just not really that close to. And they may do business with you, or they may refer you business, but only if you work on that relationship. Okay, so get your list into your CRM. Then you want to group them or categorize them so you can easily develop a strategy for reaching out and touching them. So we have our A, B's, and C's, and then we set up our stay in touch plan. So you've recently heard about campaigns, okay? That set it and forget it kind of postcard emails that can go out to every single person that you have an email for. Well, your C's, your contacts, should be getting those. Okay, every single C should be on those, but set up a plan. Okay, your A's, of course, are going to get your personal touches. They're going to get your undivided attention. They're going to have more of you than everyone else. Your B's, you should be reaching out by phone, developing that relationship so that potentially they can become A's, but certainly you don't want that relationship to diminish. And then, of course, C's are people that you want to develop to B's, and you want to be in contact with them more frequently because they are not yet to the level of a B, okay? They're not someone you would call a friend. Go ahead, Kel.
I'm gonna add two things. One, I'm going to venture to say that 40% of this group, maybe higher, has not used Engage CRM, or does not quite feel comfortable knowing what to do with it. And I'm here to tell you that is so okay. And your manager wants you to come to him or her and say, I know this has been around for 2 years. I haven't done it. He or she will help you download your contacts, find your contacts, get them in there, and your admin. So you're not doing this at all on your own. This is why you have Howard Hanna behind you. So I just don't want you to feel intimidated to go and say, I still haven't done that and I should have done it. No, now's the time to do it. Now really is the time, and we will help you.
Yep.
And Julie Tremarkey made a good point. She said she sends a gift card to a nice restaurant to anyone who refers her a buyer or seller. And it is true. I mean, that's a great thing to do, Julie. They shows you appreciate them, and then they're going to think of you again.
Absolutely. It's a great strategy for contact to have. Gratitude. Express it as often and as much as possible in your business with your family and friends. All right. So we want a stay in touch plan once we actually have our contacts organized and in one place. Okay. So prospecting tips. We have our plan in place. We know our numbers. We have our database. We've developed an action item. So what are some best tips and tricks so that we can go after that goal? Number one, if at all possible, COVID to the side, you want to work from the office. Now, why might this be a prospecting tip? Why might we want you to actually work from the office? Put it in the chat. Why?
Yes, front desk walk-in time. You're right, Elizabeth.
Okay, luck and chance. Yeah, absolutely. Floor time. But prospecting, your prospecting is your action items where you're trying to get in front of as many people as possible, where you're making your phone calls and you're sending your messages and you're writing your handwritten notes. Why might you want to do that from the office?
Aaron just said observing other agents and best practices, being close to your manager for questions. Amen to all of that. I always say find the one in the room who you see is most successful and just watch them. It's not like rocket science. Just watch what they do in a day and kind of see questions they're willing to answer. Almost everyone.
If go ahead.
Learning by hearing others share, yes. Patty, mentoring, yes. Mentoring is so huge, and so many agents, not just your manager, want to mentor. They want to be there and answer questions and help you.
And the office is where the honey is, okay? So if you're a honeybee, you got to go to the hive to get the honey.
Right.
You got to be around that. My old coach taught me that, okay? Bees are drawn to the honey. The honey's at the hive. The hive and the hub of activity is in the office, okay? So if at all possible, you'll have a mindset, you'll learn more, especially as a new agent. The energy can be contagious, so we want positive energy. So number one, work from the office if possible. Number two, search, don't sell. What in the world does this mean? We're prospecting, and I'm asking you to search, don't sell. What does this mean? No one wants to venture a guess?
I think we're getting some. Hold on.
Yeah. Usually takes at least 10 to 12 seconds for some responses.
Okay.
Search, don't sell, okay? We, remember, are not a product. We're not selling a product. So don't be a salesperson when you are making your calls, okay? Be a human being. Use Ford and focus on family and occupation and recreation and dream. People will remember that you're a real estate agent and they'll probably bring it up without you having to do it, okay? So we are searching, we are not selling. This will help you actually pick up the phone and make those calls, reach out to people, because you are not soliciting. You are just fostering and leveraging your relationships. So search, don't sell. Set a daily goal and don't stop until you reach it. So how many times have you meant to actually make some phone calls or write some notes and everything else took precedent? And by the end of the day, you didn't do it, okay? It's going to take some effort, but set that daily goal for your prospecting. So whatever activities you chose that are going to give you a return on your investment, set that daily goal and don't stop till you reach it. Those of you who are following my Facebook page, I put out a blog today with the top 10 things newer, or even seasoned agents should actually do. And it talked about the things we talked about in the office with following experienced agents, with setting a daily goal and accomplishing it. So check that out if you are not following. Conversational, not interrogational, okay? We already kind of touched upon this as far as Ford, okay? Fostering relationships. You want to carry on a conversation and take an interest in what they're interested in. And what are people interested in? They're interested in themselves. Okay?
Yep, amen.
They are. And some people like to talk about themselves more than others, but you just have to be conversational about it, okay? Using social media as your database, if you will. Take a look at every single one of your friends' profiles, because of course, Facebook isn't going to show you that. And write down 10 to 15 people every single day that you can reach out to based upon what they're posting to start that conversation, okay? So remember, conversation, not interrogation. Smile and dial. Any of you folks that have been around for a while or been in sales, in any type of sales, it's called smile and dial. People were used to be told, put a mirror above their phone and make sure that they're smiling before they reach out to people. So, smile and dial. What kind of impact does this have? And how do you know it is an impact when you smile and dial? Put it in the chat. Tell us. What you got?
Tone of your voice makes a huge difference. A couple people have said tone. You're right. It is tone. It's all about the tone.
Well, if you've ever had a call from a telemarketer And I'm not knocking where telemarketers may be calling from, but can you sometimes tell that they're not having a very good day, or they don't love their job, or that they're definitely not smiling? Okay. Same thing for us. Or how about when a family member or friend gives you a call and immediately you can sense that they're not having a good day? Okay. If they were smiling on the other end, whether they're having a good day or not, you might not be able to tell. That smile is going to come through the phone. So this is just a reminder, smile and dial, everyone. Put a mirror up if you have to remind yourself. Treat your prospecting like an appointment. So if you had a listing appointment and that seller had to cancel on you, what action steps are you going to take? You have a listing appointment and that seller has to cancel on you. What are your next steps? What action are you going to take?
Follow up, Laura. Yep.
Follow up, reschedule, keep calling until they pick that phone up and respond to you, right?
Yep.
So treat your prospecting time 2 to 3 hours a day. Hopefully you're prospecting. Treat your prospecting time like it's an appointment. Okay. If you miss an appointment because of someone else, you're going to follow up. You're going to reschedule it for as soon as possible to get it done, right? So treat your prospecting the same way you would treat an appointment, that it's that important in your business.
And
right?
you said, you're right, Molly, reschedule, but you said too, Wendy, something that's so important that I think if I want you all to hear what I'm going to repeat what Wendy just said. I hope you're doing this 2 to 3 hours a day prospecting, because it's so easy as a real estate agent, independent contractor to say, I don't know what to do. I'm going to do laundry. I'm going to go for a walk. All things that are important, and you need to schedule for also get your nails done. All of those things are very important, but you, like you said, you also have to have it in your calendar prospecting every day and stick to it, because you won't get the people without it. And if you go through this whole presentation today and you still say, I need help with prospecting, that's perfect. That's great. That's why you have a manager in your office to help you with that.
And treating that prospecting like an appointment goes all the way back to number one. If you work from the office, at least for your prospecting time, when you're not out socially prospecting, then other things aren't going to get in the way. Okay. Those distractions at home are not going to get in the way. Okay. So treat your prospecting like an appointment. Make it important in your day-to-day activities. And sometimes you're going to have to motivate yourself, especially if your mindset is not as positive on a particular day. I know some agents who will treat themselves in various ways if they've achieved everything on their prospecting list for the day. Some agents who will buy a brand new pair of shoes every time they have a closing. It's okay to reward yourself, but motivate yourself, pump yourself up. Sometimes that's why working from the office is better, because you're around people who want to be successful and who have the energy and who are doing the same thing. Okay. When it comes to, let's say you're farming a particular neighborhood, team up with someone to make it more fun, to motivate yourself. Okay. There's no rule that you have to do all of this by yourself. If you're going to make phone calls to FSBOs or put packets together for expireds, do it with people in the office to make it fun. Remember, going back to the fish philosophy, if it's fun, you'll actually do it and you won't feel like you're working. But just remember, it's okay. You might have to motivate yourself. You can reward yourself as well. Never give up. Your persistence is going to be the most important thing. And remember, it's holiday season time. Now, in normal times, when we are not dealing with this COVID environment, you're going to be around a lot of people, a lot of parties, a lot of events. Some of you still may have those opportunities, whether they're in person or social. So this time of year is a great time to prospect, to leverage relationships, to show gratitude, okay? To reach out to people for no other reason to say happy holidays, thinking of you. I hope all is well, okay? So keep in mind the art of working a room, okay? Connecting with people in any given space, whether it's at the gas pump, it's at the bank, it's at the grocery store, Your goal is to connect with as many people as possible in a given day, and it's not something that comes natural to everyone. So you want to connect. So if you're going to a party, set a goal for that night. There's going to be people perhaps that you don't know in normal times, or people that you know reasonably well. Set a goal for that evening of how many new people you're going to meet, or how many new phone numbers you're going to get. Okay, how you're going to add to your sphere of influence. So the art of working a room, set a goal every single time you're going to have social interaction. I know that during normal times when my husband and I would go out to dinner, although we wouldn't necessarily consciously set a goal, we would always talk with every single person that was within 3 feet of us and talk in a way that focused on them. Okay, real estate always comes up, but we would set a goal to get to know people around us, to be social. Okay, be confident about yourself when you are in those social settings. When you're meeting someone new for the first time, especially at an open house, and if you don't have anything to write on, use their name frequently so that you actually remember it, so that you actually show them that you care, okay? It will only stay in your memory if you actually use it. So use people's names often as you are entering new situations, social situations, growing your sphere, and try to always keep the conversation going. My father-in-law is the best conversationalist in the world. He will ask you about every single thing you are remotely interested in and pretend like he doesn't know anything about it just to keep you talking, okay? So play dumb, for lack of a better word, if you have to, and just keep asking questions and showing interest in the other person and what they said, and that's going to keep conversations going and grow your relationships so you can grow your sphere. Summarize for people when you're having these conversations. This works over the telephone as well. Let them know that you heard them, you understand them, that you empathize with them, whatever it may be. But if you repeat what you've heard, you're going to make them feel a certain way, that they were heard, that you care, that you understand. And remember, people will remember how you made them feel. So repeat what you're hearing. Don't let your thoughts stray, because remember, we get distracted. We get distracted by technology. We get distracted by shiny objects around us. Be present in the moment and remember your goals. Your goal is to make that other person have an experience, make them feel good, get to know them so that you can add them to your sphere of influence. So don't let your thoughts stray. And always, always, always have follow-up, okay? You can call it ABC, always be closing, but make an appointment for your next contact, or get that phone number and let them know how much you loved the conversation and you would love to carry it on again at another time, or have coffee to get to know them better because that was so interesting. But follow up and have a next appointment or contact, okay? So ask for the close, if you will. Ask for the deal when you are interacting with people. So finally, in closing, we covered a lot. Hopefully you got the basic tenets of business planning and maybe a little bit more. Maybe some motivation, some inspiration, places to start, and some helpful reminders about growing your business. Kelly, take it away.
Well, thank you, Wendy. I think that was, why don't we just open it up for a minute here? If anybody has questions or comments or anything they want to share, any questions at all for either one of us? 12-second rule, right?
12-second rule. It's going to take them that long to think and then that long to type and for it to come across.
Right, gotcha. And I don't know why my chat's not coming up now when I click it. Oh, there it is. Wait, there it is.
Anything, comments, questions? I like Nancy's paragraph here.
Yes.
Focusing on Ford.
Mm-hmm.
Glad you're excited, Kath.
Yeah.
Let's make 2021 even better. Can only get better.
It can only get better. That's exactly right. But I really encourage all of you truly, truly, truly to use your managers and find